Much of like people rapping.
Okay, it's about to go live, so just
once you go live, just let me know.
It's setting up our meeting on YouTube Live now, just so you know.
Okay.
Yep, it's live.
Sweet. Once you go live,
I muted it so it's not like double talking on us. So I'm gonna go ahead and share it.
Cool. Okay, you're sharing it. We're live.
I'm gonna go ahead and share it on Facebook right now.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And it'll go on my wall.
Okay, let's get that all set up. Sounds good. There we go.
Are you getting it?
Yep, I'm gonna share it.
Okay.
All right, now I can shut all that stuff off.
Did you get it? Okay.
You.
Cool. And then I'm going to share this to one more. I'm going to share it to iEvolve, of course. Here, real quick.
Cool.
Real quick. I guess I'm not being very effective at this moment. Oh, here we go. I had to scroll down a little bit. There. It's taking a little bit longer to post. It's just taking a second.
I should grab my ukulele. La, 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 la,
Your ukulele, just play some entertainment in the meantime.
Like the Jeopardy song. Do 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 do.
Thanks, Jess. I appreciate it. Well, it's going, so that's awesome. Yay, we did it. Yeah, so I am going to pull it up also on, you should be able to see any live comments or anything.
Okay,
that happen.
Turn it off for the moment.
Yeah, but we can just go ahead and get things started.
Yeah.
So let me go back to our screen so I can see us in real time. So,
hi.
Hi, everybody. It's Shannon and Jess again from iEvolve TV, live with Shannon and Jess. Live. So we took last week off because of just I was gonna say the holidays, but we're actually moving into the holidays because of Thanksgiving. Just everybody's traveling and moving around and, getting jiggy with it, I guess, with their turkey and their stuffing.
Yeah.
So we just took last week off, but we thought we would kind of just move into just some different things rather than just all the strife that's going on in the world. And I guess it's still kind of strife because we're going to talk about Dharma tonight, if anybody's heard of that before. Besides Dharma and Greg, the sitcom from the 90s. That was a cool show. Remember that show?
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Jenna Elfman.
Yeah, Jenna Elfman. Didn't she have a husband Danny Elfman? Like he was a composer?
I don't know. I thought he was a goblin.
What?
Or a dwarf. But he might be an elf man.
Oh, elf man. Yeah, I get it now. Sorry. That's funny, Jess.
It actually made sense.
It did make sense. I was just thinking of like real people. I didn't.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking like business stuff right now. So I wanted to share some cool things that I found out because we are, being from Northeast Michigan, this is kind of a cool thing because there's not a whole lot of podcasts going on. Yep, right there. Nice map. There's not, I don't think there's any podcasts going on from, not a whole lot coming out of Michigan at all, really. Don't quote me on that, but.
Well, we're all here. All the cool people are in Michigan, because Michigan rocks.
I know.
We got the whole archipelago of Michigan, the hand, and then we got the Mystic UP, which is very interesting. And there's so many things to explore and lots of strange Finnish names of streets. You'll see them crazy names up there if you go there for street names. Like it's all those Finnish, from Finland.
You're from Finland?
Oh, no, I'm not from Finland, but lot of the people from the UP are descendants of the Finns.
Oh.
Yep, there's a lot of Finns up. Yeah, it was a lot. It was settled by a lot of Finns. There was like it was culturally a lot of Finnish people up there. Strangely enough, we got all the Polacks in Alpena. I mean, that's just true, right? And Polish people, it's all good. Much
I
love.
hear they're good at finishing. That's
Finish
not
what?
funny at all.
I made a Finnish joke today at work. It was hilarious.
You did?
Oh yeah. The shipping girl shipped everything out to Finland. It must feel good to finally finish that.
That's like a dad joke, Jess. I'm sorry.
I know, and I don't have any offspring.
It's like my dad. Every single time I say to him, I'm going to the gym, or I'm at the gym. And he'll say, "Oh, really? What's Jim's name? What's his
Right.
last name?" Like, it doesn't even make sense. I'm like, I'm at the gym. I'm not referencing a person at all. I'm referencing a place.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say Nasium. And
Ad
that's
nauseum.
funny. Ad nauseum. Yes.
The gymnasium.
Yeah. Gymnasium. Every time.
I love it. I love it that we're just keeping it real.
That's a dad joke, Jess.
For all the dads out there.
So I wanted to tell you some cool things out of Northeast Michigan that are happening.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend, another Shannon from Alpena, another girl from the Ridge, and her brother, Tim Mullaney, Shannon Mullaney. Tim had bought some really cool skin care products for his mom for her birthday, I think. Oh, yeah. And there's this like new little startup business called Sfeeds. Have you heard of it? This is a guy out of Asanique making all this stuff out of like raw honey and some really cool stuff. He's got a little Facebook page. It's in Mail's Corners grocery store. They've got their products in there. It's like all over town. So, in the basket case.
The whole Asanique.
No, all over Alpena. Like Mail's Corners is in Maple Ridge. So if you're familiar with like Long Rapids Road and you hit like right on the corner of Bolton and Maple Ridge, or I mean Long Rapids Road and Bolton Road is Mail's Corners grocery store. They have their product in there, and then they have it in the basket case. I think those are the two that I heard for sure, and they've got it all over. But it's on their Facebook page, and I was really intrigued by that because I've made some stuff out of raw honey, and so that stuff is really I'm going to try it when I get up there for sure.
Yeah, I would like to try their product also. It sounds quite awesome.
Amazing, yeah. So so I was talking to him. His name's Eric Johnson, but I thought maybe your dad might know him because they just moved out of Asanique, right?
Over. Only guitar players are getting that. Yeah, Eric Johnson is a stellar guitar player.
Is it the same one?
It's a different guy, but
but
there's a really famous Eric Johnson that's more famous than the Sfeeds guy, but maybe the Sfeeds guy will get more famous than Eric Johnson, but he'll have a lot of work to do.
That's a lot of bees.
That's right, lots of bees. Mind your P's and Q's or I'll dot your I's.
So
I'm feeling like joking around. I hope people are having fun. I don't know what's going on out there. Are they watching us?
I don't know. I wasn't looking.
Who cares?
They'll watch us eventually. Oh, and finally figured out how to stream from YouTube. So don't forget to like and subscribe, please, to our YouTube.
Like button. Smash it. Just smash that like button.
On our iEvolve TV, because that helps us out on numbers and such.
Just make sure you get the right iEvolve.
But yeah, there's no space between. There's no spaces.
Ah, yes.
The other one's old, but it does have some subscribers, like 700 of them. So It's going to be clearly not us, to just put it that way.
Yeah. We're us.
I'm sorry, Jess, I cut you off.
Oh, I said they are them and we are us.
Yeah.
But all together, we're us.
For sure. So some crazy things were going on with the iEvolve website. I really thought that maybe I had needed to have a ticket to the crazy farm because I thought maybe I lost my mind.
Why? What happened?
I couldn't get it to work at all. I couldn't do anything, but it was a server problem. So it wasn't a Shannon problem. So it's working now. And I mean, it's not done. It's not anywhere near done.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to get good servers nowadays.
So Jeanette fixed it. Yay, Jeanette. She fixed it for me. Yes. And so it's working. So, and then I just wanted to talk about tomorrow, at 1:00. I've got, Steve Myers, the author of The Great Pyramid Prosperity Machine. I couldn't read that backwards for a second. Is going to be here with, Laura, here as in like, this is a space or something.
Is it
Oh,
like where I could go and like sit in there and meditate?
you have to ask him. Why don't you pop in?
Maybe so. Maybe I shall. Maybe I'll get on the Facebook and I'll type. That's what it looks like when I'm typing. Just like that.
Like that?
It's like that one cat, the cat meme.
You're like Billy Joel and the typer?
That's like, you want to, oh, sing my life.
And so Lori will be helping me interview him. And Brian, the Ascension worker, is going to come talk about all the crazy energy stuff that's happening this year.
Yeah. Like everything.
Yeah. And then Friday morning, no BS Friday morning with Dreama. And I've been trying to nail Sean down for a part do for the soul complex stuff that we were talking about with, the Norse religion stuff, or not really a religion, but you know what I mean. And, but I haven't nailed him down yet. So we'll see. I was trying to get it this week, but he must be busy.
Get some good information on the Viking lineage.
Yeah, I mean, people. Somebody wrote a comment about that. Were the Vikings Norse, or were the Vikings? So I can't remember what. Like, being a Viking was just like being a Marine, basically. It's just something that you did.
Yeah. It's badasses on boat, and like doing cool stuff. And I mean, I saw the show. I'm just kidding. It's pretty. Everybody in the Vikings TV show is like really good looking, and I'm sure that back in the day, the Vikings were like, there was probably a couple good looking ones and a lot of ugly people. Oh, my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, your audio is weird.
Did you see that?
It's because you were saying terrible things about. It's the ancestors coming back. They're haunting you because you're saying they're ugly.
That's right. Well, yeah, it could be possible that everybody back then had looked really good and had really cool hair and cool facial tattoos and stuff, and maybe so. I mean, but there's definitely seems like there's a kind of incongruent amount of like hot people on the Viking show, but it makes for good TV, and I mean, that's why I watch it.
Well, they did do weird things to their teeth. Like they like made them red or something. I remember reading something like that. They found like burial sites where they, like fell in battle. And so the remains had like some kind of substance on their teeth to make them look like they were bloody. So they were scary.
Oh, right.
And then they had the helm of terror, which is also called the helm of awe, like tattooed on their head.
Oh, what symbol is that?
I could look it up, but it has like, I'd have to look it up. It kind of looks like a compass with lots of different like intricate things on it.
Oh yeah.
They would put it on their third eye a lot, like here.
It's the Bjork tattoo. It's like a protection sigil.
Yeah. It's referred to as like the helm of terror or helm of awe.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I'm all about the protection. I think that we need to summon that sometimes because things are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been that way since the dawn of time. Everybody needs protection. I mean, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, protection.
there's a whole company that's dedicated to that. Well, there are many companies dedicated to that, right?
That's right.
So that's all I had. That's all I had. So you want to like dive into some Dharma?
Deep divers. Let's dive in. Breathing that good ass prana, man.
I was watching the podcast that I did with Matt Ellis, and we were talking about Ralph Smart too. Where we were making fun of him, not making fun of him, you know, we were like just doing little skits about Ralph too, because he's great, he's awesome, I love him.
He has those key phrases that he uses over and over again.
Several of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, his background is in special education and psychology. Imagine that.
That's awesome.
Shocker.
That's great because yeah, makes sense.
That's funny. Oh, and he said something about criminology too, which is funny.
Yeah, when you look at like psychology and all that stuff, you end up studying all the psychos and the weirdos and the people who are deviant and why people do things they do. Which
yeah, well, I mean, I'm endorsed in, you know, emotional impairment, so you know, you have a lot of classes in abnormal psychology. A lot.
So are there classes in normal psychology like that just where
yeah, yep,
and then there's abnormal,
yeah,
like you know like those people?
No, there is like developmental psychology.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one about, you know, like normal stages of, you know, like aging, like it was something like what's popping in my head is like geriatrics, like, but that wasn't it. It was something like the generations or something like that. It was called. Yeah. Yeah, okay. There is. Mm-hmm. But the ones that are really interesting are the ones that are weird, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like how people's minds are, you know, and you know, the bodies that they end up in, and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's interesting. So you have a couple books you were showing me earlier.
Yeah.
In talking about.
One you gave me.
Yeah, that's right. I gave you. That is Good Life, Good Death by Gillick Rinpoche.
You know, it's good for faces, but maybe not good for paper. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a picture of my guru, my teacher, when he was like 3 or 4 years old. Strangely enough, that picture was taken in Tibet. Nobody had cameras in Tibet except for like his dad, Demo Rinpoche, had a camera. Yeah, so that book right there is very important to me, and it's Rinpoche's kind of like book to the world. Like, you know, he has all these books that are the kind of more heady Dharma stuff that you can get through jewelheart.org, kind of specific Buddhist teachings, but that's more like, you know, your Barnes and Nobles type book where you can go and you can just read it. And he gives a really succinct overview of the concepts in Buddhism. You know, like one of the concepts he talks about is, so I'll get sidetracked onto this, but one of the things he talks about is the idea of, you know, like in reincarnation, you talk about like, he calls it a physical gene and the mental gene. Mm-hmm. It's a cool way of looking at it, right? So like the physical gene is like, so you're born into, for example, you know, this body, you know, like, and whatever, you know, your ancestor, the karma of, you know, the body you have, and, you know, where it came from, like, you know, Norway and this and that. And then there's the actual mental gene, which is like your consciousness. Mm-hmm. And those two things together make your incarnation, essentially, make you who you are. And so it's interesting to look at that, you know. There's obviously stuff that we get from our folks and from our physical gene, you know, that inform how we are, inform our psychology. Mm-hmm. But then there's also things that how we think and how we function, that it's, you know, we get from this life, but it also kind of stems from limitless lifetimes, which is the idea in the kind of, you know, Buddhist idea of reincarnation, that basically there's no end to consciousness. Your consciousness kind of looks for a body basically every time you die. So the idea of a physical gene and a mental gene, I think it's a brilliant way. Rinpoche put it that way, and it's a brilliant way to do it because everyone understands what a gene is, and so the mental gene, because the thing about the mind and consciousness and stuff like that is like modern science can't. There it goes again. Modern science can't pinpoint the mind in terms of like consciousness, your mind. I mean, they can pinpoint the brain and the different functionality of the brain, but the mind itself has no actual substance. That's the trick. That's the you want to compare it to the soul or this and that. Like we just say mind in Buddhism, like your mind reincarnates. Your mind is what keeps coming back. It just joins with that physical gene and the mental gene. And so it's interesting, it's like kind of nature and nurture. It's like both together. We're constantly programming ourselves, like what habits and how we do and what we do and how we function informs the patterns of our lives.
Right.
And basically the thing you're used to doing, you probably have been doing for some time,
Right.
meaning more than just one lifetime. So it's great, that the Buddhist tradition really focuses on like the idea of reincarnation. And the cool thing, if you read Rinpoche's book, Good Life, Good Death, his approach, is really smart. Like, he's very open-minded, because he's not telling you have to believe this. This is how it is. It's
Right.
like, no, he's like, no, he presents the idea of reincarnation. His whole thing is like, give it the benefit of the doubt, like at least to kind of like mull it over or whatever. He's not trying to tell you what to think. And he even talks about how at first he wasn't sure about reincarnation and stuff, and like he kind of plays it like that, like not sure what reincarnation is, but then he's kind of jokes because his name is he's got the title Rinpoche, which kind of means it's like his job is like a reincarnate lama. So he jokes, he goes, if I don't believe in reincarnation, I don't have a job. I'll lose my job. He jokes about that. Yeah. So the idea of reincarnation is this idea that your mental gene kind of basically finds a home in a host body, essentially. Then you become the one thing, and here we are. Hello. So yeah. So it's really cool to be able to talk about that, because a lot of religious traditions, they kind of talk about it and it's kind of a little bit there and stuff, but to me it's really like straightforward. I mean, I would love to compare notes with other people's version of other traditions' version of what they talk about, how reincarnation works and this and that. And so, but yeah, basically it's just easy. The explanation, I mean, my explanation isn't that good, but Rinpoche's is really good. This idea of the mental gene and the physical gene. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask how that would tie into our topic, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Oh yeah, our topic, Dharma. Well, what is Dharma? So yeah, you hear this word Dharma a lot, right? So if that's our topic word, Dharma, it's kind of like it's kind of like a buzzword in a way. It's a word now. I mean, Dharma and Greg, you mentioned earlier,
right?
Like, so it's in the lexicon of the you could find it in a dictionary, in an English dictionary, probably even. So Dharma itself, the word is Sanskrit. And there's a lot of different like versions of what people say. Dharma means truth, or Dharma is this and that. But from the way my teacher put it, my Dharma is essentially like, he talks about your Dharma, which is really like your Dharma is your spiritual evolution.
Okay.
You're like, you talk about iEvolve, like your Dharma is like, Dharma itself is spiritual teachings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like your Dharma is like, you basically take that knowledge, process it, and it advances you, it evolves you, right? The person I was 5 years ago compared to the person I am now, hopefully I've gotten into, gone to a better place in terms of with my own spirituality and stuff like that, and patience, your virtues, like morality, compassion for other people, things of that nature. So Dharma is like really the amplification of your own kind of spiritual process. So so when you talk about Dharma, it's like it's a buzzword, like we were saying. But the cool thing is that you really personalize it. So the idea of your Dharma, right? Like your Dharma is your spiritual practice in your life, like how you deal with life and how you use it to make yourself kind of evolve. I guess that's the best word I could think of. Spiritually evolve, essentially. It's not like Dharma is not like a dogma where it's like so like these are the rules, that's how it is. It's more like it's the flexible reality of how you work with yourself and how you work with the world, essentially. So Dharma is that thing that kind of really changes you or shifts you in when you're presented with it. Hopefully it has an effect on your mind stream in a way that makes you a better person. That's the idea. I mean, that's what Dharma is. It's the thing that makes you a better person.
It's the work that you do.
And so like they talk about Buddha Dharma, the Buddha Dharma. Well, it's not so much the work, it's the the work that you do on yourself. Sure, yes, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So and so there's go ahead. There's all kinds of Dharma out there, but really the Dharma that I'm talking about here is that Dharma of kind of self-actualization or no self-actualization, however you look at it, kind of the way you evolve. I think I hit it. Yeah.
So I think
so the Dharma is in really every tradition, I think, personally. If it's a genuine spiritual tradition, if it's a genuine spiritual tradition where people are actually, becoming better people and they're working with, the basics of like love, compassion, wisdom, patience, all the different paramitas and what the different transcendental all the things we need to work on, basically. If it has all that, then it's really a real tradition as far as I'm concerned. And if it doesn't have that, then it's kind of cute.
Right.
But the Dharma itself is the thing that is the stuff that is the essence of whatever the teaching is. In a way, you could look at it that way.
Okay. So I think
the Dharma isn't like, there's
I think
go ahead.
No, I think we just have some like crossover going on with the audio right now. Do you find it kind of weird?
Yeah, I bet you it's lagging. Yeah, interesting. Lag. You good? Get all the technical difficulties thrown away.
Kinda. I'm not seeing how I can get it to go live on Facebook, but it is live. I mean, if people click on it, it is live. So that's cool. I'm just not seeing it stream like normal.
So it's not live. It's live on YouTube. Got it.
Yes.
Well, just get everyone to go to YouTube instead of Facebook.
Yeah. And I don't know why the comments are off, which is weird. So that's really bizarre.
So I had them off from before. Can you turn them
on? I'm in the like channel side, and I'm seeing if I can't turn them on. I'm actually in it right now. It's such a weird thing. Like, why comments show?
You could always turn them on later, and we'll just have a good little talk. And
yeah, like so like you just like it doesn't say that you can turn them on. Like it doesn't give you that option.
Something.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again, Jess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't even give me that option. So it's kind of weird. It's a weird thing. Like the option that says enable live chat, and the box is like not like allowable for me to click. I don't know why. Isn't that weird?
Whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Oh no, I'm not.
We can just keep going. It's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. So I'm just trying to get it to. I mean, it is going on. It is on Facebook. It's just not. I'm just trying to get it to just. It would be nice that people could actually interact with us, even if it was on Facebook. So that's all. I'm just trying to get that to work. So like, I think I often will say things like, do good dharma, get good karma, that kind of thing. And I think that may be a little bit oversimplification, I think. Yes or no? What is your take?
Right. Well, do good dharma, get good karma. I mean, the idea is like if you're practicing the dharma from what I taught, then the idea is you want to build positive karma constantly. Like if you're a Buddhist practitioner, your goal is to become a Buddha, and to get there you have to do good, you have to build the good karma constantly. Like
Right.
If you're trying to shortchange reality, it will bite you. It'll get you back, because that's the idea. And it's not like God is going to get you type thing. It's just like your own actions will get you. So yes, but good karma, developing karma, positive karma is important, because if you don't have good karma, then you don't have the opportunities to practice the dharma. That's the idea. Like if you don't have the good karma to like have a home, or to have, to have enough, you need good karma to create a secure environment, for the blessings to come, and then for you to have that opportunity to really even to witness your own mind, to like pay attention. That's almost like a karmic blessing in and of itself. But karma is really good. Developing and creating positive karma is essential for the spiritual practice, I think, for any spiritual practice.
Yeah.
And that's how you develop this inner dharma, kind of the inner transformation. When you try to get rid of that anger and all that stuff, the karma is what it's kind of like helps you float.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you the opportunity to secure your, you got to have that positive karma, or else you're going to be dealing with a lot of trouble.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah.
I mean, so just, I guess, I wonder if people realize what kinds of things do. I mean, it happens in every moment, really, right? But it's not even just holding that door open for somebody or saying thank you. I mean, there's lots of ways that we work this into our life, right? I mean, we should talk about.
Yeah. Well, right now at this very moment, it's like a train going. Like our life is going like a train, and that karma you're talking about is already happening right now. You know what I mean? And like what you're just saying. And so you want to keep that kind of momentum. You create momentum. It's like you have momentum right now. Whoever is listening to this, whoever you are, like you are, you're riding the train of your life, right? And it's going. It's not stopping. We all know that, right? Nothing's stopping. It's going to keep going. So there's no stopping it. You just have to go. And like, so if you're moving, you want to move in that positive direction and create those positive realities for yourself. And the way you do that, from the dharmic perspective, is by creating the good karma, which is good actions. Karma, the word karma itself, karma, the root of karma is the syllable kri, like as in kriya yoga. Like people talk about kriya.
Yeah.
Kri means act. Yeah, kri means action. So it's Sanskrit. Kri is the root of karma.
Okay.
Kri, kri. And so karma is kind of like karma. It's like the I always want to say it's like the mother of all actions. It's like the cumulative action. It's like action. It's karma. It's it's
Oh,
like, so that's the you basically have action, and it's karma means action, but it really means the action that you've taken since the beginning of time, which there is no beginning in the Buddhist way of thinking. So you're
okay.
on that train, you're creating that action. You are creating the action right now. So obviously you want to be mindful of what the heck you're creating, and
Right.
you want to hurt a bunch of people and have that come back on you, and then you get hurt, like, so the wise person tries to avoid that, and the compassionate person tries to develop more than, what they call the larger scope, or the scope. From the Buddhist standpoint, there's this altruistic scope, which is this idea of you do all your actions for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just, for you, this and that. All your actions are for the benefit of all beings. And that kind of becomes the train becomes that kind of life raft to save all beings. It's the great altruistic wish.
Right.
So that's the mechanism by which Mahayana Buddhism functions. And so we're trying to develop that kind of compassion mind. And I guess we're talking about karma, so it's like this good karma. And there's all types of karma in the Tibetan Buddhist in Buddhist philosophy. There's they talk about wisdom karma and just kind of good luck karma. And it's like how there's all the different words for snow for the Inuits and the Eskimo Inuit people.
Uh-huh.
Like there's all different types of karmas, in Buddhism. It's kind of interesting, so like, there's so much to it.
There is so much to it. It's
Yeah, so
it's mind blowing, really.
it's really,
I kind of get
yeah, yeah.
turned around in it, I guess. Did you just freeze or something? Are you frozen? You're frozen. Oh no.
You were kind of like robot voice there for a second. It was being funny. I didn't catch exactly what you said.
I think I said I get turned around in it. And did you hear that part?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I get turned around in it, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
There's so many different traditions and ideas and stuff out there that it's important to kind of like find out what makes the most sense and stick with it,
Yeah.
With all the different ideas and stuff out there and stuff like, so I like to simplify things, like keep things simple, and I like to kind of transcend even like religion and all that stuff. I love like religion and ritual and all that. I actually am one of those people who likes it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But I like to distill it to its essence, to where you can take religion out of it completely. Because to me, like, reality is reality, right? You can take the religion aspect out of it and just look at the practicality aspect of developing compassion, and the practicality of the whole process of birth and death, and called bardo, which is the in between after you die and in between before you get born again. Before you take birth again. So like this bardo, so it's like this whole mechanism of life. To me, you could say it's a religious concept. I mean, because it is come from religion, but to me, it's just kind of like a concept of how things just function.
Mm-hmm.
So it transcends the kind of like dogmatic format that we're used to in the West.
Right.
Yeah. So there's lots of juicy stuff, but really what's important is that we get into our own minds and look at how we function, right?
Right.
Every day, how do you function? Are you angry? Are you happy? Are you confused? And we're all of those things, but what's the real, that's why meditation is important, because all these different aspects of our mind, they're just aspects. They're just moments. It's like, so when you meditate, the idea is you kind of like distill all that. You get to like, it's like, they compare it to the top of an ocean. The ocean is like whoosh, whoosh, the wave, the ocean, everything's crazy, right? That's like our regular every. And then the more subtle mind is like down at the bottom of the ocean where it's all, ooh, it's like, everything's cool and calm, and so when you get away from this kind of more conceptual, we call it gross mind, like the conceptual reality, the internet, this, that, everything, and driving, ordering sub from Jimmy John's, whatever. That's like the more regular, but when you get down to like kind of the essence of everything, you can kind of see through, things a little easier. You can see through your own, like, like your anger or your lust or this and that. So when you meditate, you kind of like, you weaken the bonds of the grip of attachment. You weaken those bonds so that you can kind of dwell in space, like the space reality, rather than the tightness of like, like literally, like when people get angry and stuff, they talk about like your central channel gets kind of squeezed. They talk about in the physiology, the Eastern physiology, or like within the Tibetan tradition, they talk about you've got like the two different channels right here, and then you got your like central channel, which is like your enlightenment channel. And they say that it's really like hard to even get like in that central channel kind of space. Most of us are dealing with these right and left channels, which are, they call it the attachment channel and the hatred channel. They call it literally that. They call it, one's the attachment channel and one's the hatred channel. And it's like, it's like when you get angry, right? You think it's like you're constricting it. It's like those two left and right channels are right around your central channel and tightening it, and then you get kind of caught up in the emotion reality. And that's where we mostly, that's our life most of the time, is us. We're dealing with this attachment and hatred thing all the time. So meditation gives you a chance to kind of loosen that up, because, it's just our mind playing tricks on us essentially half the time. All our attitude stuff, anger and all that crap.
It's amazing how things change after you relax and things settle down after, you're not amped up and stressed out about something. In time and space, you take a deep breath after, you get a perspective.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right. And those moments like that are, that's a meditative moment, you could say. Like, we all need it. Like when I'll get caught up in something and my mind will be going racing and stuff. And then you kind of like, it's like not making a decision right away, and you like give it time, because then you can kind of like, and when things settle, when the dust settles and the mud settles, you can kind of like see the whole thing, and then you can kind of adjust you're like, oh no, I just need to do this.
Right.
Simple, easy, and and if you're really a skilled person, like a highly intelligent person, or like a skilled spiritual practitioner, if you really want to use that language, things go easy because you're taking simple, you're making it easy by not making it complex and not making it difficult to deal with.
Right.
So it's important, developing. That's why the idea of like meditating every day is like, it's like you're turning off the damn TV, to use like stuff from our youth, like turn the TV off, right? It's like, I'm going to like focus on the quiet for a damn second, and go in there and develop my, kind of work with that inner voice a little bit.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to like stop all the other voices that you hear as well.
Yeah. And essentially just our mind making a bunch of damn noise. Yeah.
That, they're
we
not.
all do it. I do it. We all do it, and
absolutely.
what's that?
They're not even your voice. They're not your
Yeah.
own guidance. They're other people's, you know?
Well, yeah, but it's also really our mind hearing all of that too. So
Yeah.
you're reacting with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. Buddhist yogi, I just made me think of a yogini, Machig Labjong. This yogini, she said that there's Buddhist yogini. She said that there's really no demons or ghosts outside of your own mind. I mean, there are, but like the idea is that it's all you that's interacting with it, and it's really just, in other words, just it's all you, you know. Don't get distracted with, because your mind is interacting with that stuff anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
essentially your mind, everything is your mind. If you really like, I guess maybe I'm getting too, because there's a lot of debate room there, but it's your mind reacting to it. So how your mind reacts to things is more what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Is that's where our job comes in. Like we have, somebody once said, and I thought this was good, the only thing that we have control over in this entire universe is our body, our speech, and our mind. in Buddhism, it's like this, right? So the body, they always point to the body here, and they'll represent that with Om, like a
Mm-hmm.
white Om, the head. And then speech is the ah syllable, ah, and that's like here, and it's red, ah syllable. And then hum is like the mind, hung, or say hung or hum. So in Asian culture, the mind is really like kind of here. It's like your chest, it's like here,
Oh,
So it's talking about body, speech, mind. But
okay.
what I'm originally saying is that the only thing we have control over is this omahung, this body, speech, and mind. The only thing that I have control over, I don't have control over you. I don't have control over the only thing I can control is my body, my speech, and my mind. So
Okay.
once you simplify your reality like that, you're like, that's all I really can control. So why don't I just work with that? In other words,
Uh-huh.
it's this, like me, I'm gonna work on that. I can't try, we all try to fix the world on the outside. In the Bodhisattva way of life, Shanti Deva says, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing it.
Okay.
Don't try to put leather on the entire earth. Just put leather on the bottom of your own shoe. In other words, this is, you talking about leather on your shoe. He's talking about, don't try to put like the bottom of your shoe everywhere on the earth. Just put it on your own foot, and that's good enough. In other words,
Okay.
work with yourself. Don't try to change the outside world. You know what I mean? You just, yeah, I think people get it. Don't try to put leather on the whole world. Put it on the bottom of your foot. That's the best thing to do. So work with yourself, work on your own mind, develop your own bodhisattva activity, and then the world will adjust to that rather
Right.
than trying to make the world a bodhisattva. You do it yourself. You
That makes sense.
manifest it yourself. Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'm getting, yeah.
No, it
So
makes total sense because I think you see that. I mean, if everybody waited until they were completely healed to start, loving one another and teaching what you've learned along the path, nobody would heal anybody or teach anybody anything ever. So that's not possible, or that's unrealistic. But I think there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time looking outside of themselves to heal themselves. They spend a lot of time focusing their own healing on healing everyone else. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're trying to fix the world, which that's that.
Vicariously,
Yeah, you're totally getting it. That's what Shanti Deva was talking about. Don't try to fix the world, fix yourself. That's what he's saying. Don't try to put leather on the bottom or on the whole world. Put it on the bottom of your own foot. Fix yourself. That will help change the world, just like they say, be the change you want to see in the world. It's really, that's what it is. Yeah.
Gandhi
And so that's cool. Didn't Gandhi say that? Yep.
I think Gandhi said that. Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world. Well,
Yep.
and people will follow that just by being near your frequency, near your vibration.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
it's
you'll
like,
piss them off so bad that they'll attack you, which that'll happen sometimes too. But
yeah, it always
but
happens.
you're resilient. You're just like,
Right. Well, everything we do is viral, put it that way. So
Yeah.
if you want to put a bad vibe out there, it's going to catch. If you put a good vibe out there, it's going to catch too. And, don't let, stuff throw you off. And hopefully, I mean, I'm not perfect. That's just it. Like,
no.
the stress here, the cool thing, I mean, I'm speaking from the Buddhist perspective because that's what I've focused on for the past like 23 years. So that's where I draw my knowledge from, for the most part. Of course, all the other stuff is combined in there, but so the cool thing about the Buddhist practice is it's all about me. It's all about focusing on yourself. Any teaching that you get, you focus it on yourself to transform yourself. Again, my body, my speech, and my mind. That's what I have control over. So that's what you work on. So it's like, you take all examples on to yourself. That's the idea. So you're constant in Buddhism. You're constantly, the whole thing is you're working on transforming yourself.
Right. So I don't believe that we're actually like streaming live on Facebook right now, but we'll do what we can. I don't, little bits by little bits, but at least we're streaming.
Well, the cool thing is this is on YouTube, and YouTube is a little bit more like it'll last longer because people aren't gonna like really like Facebook. It's there in the stream, but once it's gone, like you're not gonna go back there and look at it. Like
I really, I make sure that they get to YouTube, but somebody that I don't know, because a lot of times these posting things publicly, people kind of show up, and
that's the advantage of Facebook. Obviously, you get people in the moment, whereas YouTube is it's a different community. I mean, it's the same people and whatnot, but it works differently. Yeah, I like watching certain like YouTube lives, but they're like the comments are going so fast you can't even read it half the time on those YouTube lives. But for something like for us, because there's not going to be like a ton of people, it'll be slow.
Right.
But
I'm wondering what I'm not hitting. But anyway, I guess I wasn't able to paste all this. Maybe this is somebody
Who?
It's on my wall. I can't say this person's name.
Why?
If you go to my wall on Facebook.
I'll go on Facebook. I'll click on it. I'm clicking on the Facebook, so I'm not looking. Oh, here we are.
And I've posted it a couple times, but it's under the event, and it says tonight's topic Dharma, and it's Moaz Ahmed. Dear beloved, this message is for your heart. Let love transform you. Is that somebody that you know?
No, but that's a great message. Thank you, the person we can't pronounce your name.
Good job.
Transform your heart, sure, totally. But that love is going to come. I mean, it comes from you, right? So.
Well, there's a lot more there.
I can't read it because I can't find it.
Oh, okay. Let love be your medicine. Love is beautiful, wise intelligence. Love is so powerful that it takes death and turns it into a pathway for greater life. This gift of love is genius. Allow yourself Allow yourself now to sit upon ruby curved seat and be filled completely with its light that permeates the gentle shade of an ancient tree. I ask that you sit with me, beloved. Maybe this is something that was rewritten from like a passage of something.
Sounds like Rumi. It's yeah, it sounds Rumi or something.
Yeah, it's quite long. That's why I was trying to send you to it. It's a nice message, for sure.
Great.
Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
somebody, maybe you have, a groupie.
Cool.
Hi.
I think that they're just contributing. They're just a person contributing a conversation. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, so whatever the person's name is, it Mohammed or something? What? Who's it?
Moaz, Mowaz.
Moaz.
There you go. Yeah.
Moaz. Thanks, Moaz. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love is key, brah. Love. Love, 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 love. Love, love.
I assume that it was a guy. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, it was very nice. So, I kind of stopped us to check that. So I'm sorry.
Check it out. Yeah, we're working on technology, figuring things out. I know you got to figure things out. It's tricky sometimes. No big deal.
I really would like to get that to go. And I mean, I watch other podcasts and have maybe because I'm only watching them on YouTube, but I'm watching that. I can't get it to just go on YouTube. So I don't know what I'm doing. That's wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. That's wrong. So it's just weird, bizarre.
I think the phrase I'm looking for, it's called technical difficulties.
Yes.
Technical difficulties.
Yes. Shannon's been having lots of them lately. And all of my equipment
I can barely hear you.
Taken flight yet. Nothing has taken flight. It's pretty amazing. Nothing has sailed across the room or out into the driveway yet. Are you stuck?
I couldn't hear what you just said. It was pausing. I'm like getting a really crappy feed right now, apparently.
I said nothing.
Unfortunately.
None of
I didn't even know what you just said. You said I caught some of it, and I don't know if you're quoting someone or you're just saying something.
I was just saying something. I said none of my equipment has taken flight across the room or landed out in the driveway or anything like that yet. Did it do it again? Did it do it again?
It sucks because I don't know what you said. I couldn't hear. All I heard was yeah.
It did it again. I wonder if because I was
I'm
trying.
sorry.
No, you're totally
We're
fine.
having technical difficulties.
I'm gonna hold 1 second.
Maybe there's too much stuff going on your computer. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Maybe click off a bunch of stuff and just go raw. The only thing I have on is Zoom at this point.
How's that? How am I doing?
That's what. Yeah, now I can hear you more. You probably had too much stuff going on at once.
I really wasn't doing anything.
I can actually hear you now. So you were saying something. Were you reading something?
No, I was just saying that none of my equipment has taken flight across the room, and nothing has sailed out of the house and landed in the driveway. None of my equipment, my laptop or phone, because I've had a lot of technical difficulties lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's all working itself out.
Yeah,
we can improve on that stuff.
Sedative, could use a few of those. There's been days.
Yeah, like a stiff drink.
I got those.
Or a stiff tea. I'm like becoming a tea toddler lately. I do a lot of teas. I like tea.
I have lots of tea.
Is good.
Teas aren't cutting it.
Drink lots of tea.
They're not cutting it.
Yeah. Right. Well, there's other options out there. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well,
coffee's good. I like.
That's not cutting it. So do you feel like we've covered Dharma and not Greg?
Yeah, forget about Greg. Dharma's where it's at. Who cares about Greg anyways? It was all about Dharma anyways. She's such a babe.
I like that show a lot.
Where is she anymore?
I
But
like
anyways, yeah. No, I think we
whatever
covered
happened to her?
our subject good. You know, and plus with technical difficulties. Yeah, good question. I don't know. Maybe she found the Dharma. I hope she did.
Jenna Elfman.
Last I heard, she was into that Scientology. Yeah, I heard she was a Scientologist. I'm like, man, what a bummer, because you got such a great name like Dharma. Hopefully
Well,
you'd
her
be into
name
the
wasn't
Dharma.
really Dharma. Her name was Jenna Elfman. Right? Remember we talked about that.
What?
If you're I'll put your glasses on, I'll put my glasses.
I'm confused. See, that works for you. Wow. I like that.
It makes a thing. It makes it like a.
It works. Yeah. Yeah, no, you get the reflection of.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's why I had to take them off, because it's like you can see the reflection of my screen in my eyes.
That's weird. So I do have a little quote here by Santideva, the 7th century Indian Buddhist sage, writes, although we wish to cast off grief, we hasten after misery, and though we long for happiness, out of ignorance we crush our joy. It is if we were our enemy. So apparently we're supposed to feel like lean into the grief. Is that what it's saying? It's part of the Dharma.
Well,
Can't see
yeah, no, that's the guy I was quoting earlier.
Yeah.
Yep. No, we spent 13 years on that. What Shantideva is saying is, he's saying that like, say we want happiness, but we race towards suffering, right? So for example, like, I want happiness, so I'm going to drink a bunch of alcohol because that one makes me happy. And then what ends up happening is you end up making yourself miserable if you drink too much, or we always want happiness, but then we go about it the wrong way. We end up doing the thing that's the opposite of happiness. That's what he's pointing out. And so what is the actual happiness is the question. A lot of what you get in the Buddhist way of thinking is you're negating all the possibilities to find the essence of the truth of reality. So, that's why we want to train in these dharmic activities, so that we don't chase after, they talk about, like, the example is drinking salt water, right? You're thirsty and there's nothing to drink, but there's salt water. So you drink salt water, and then you want to drink more. It makes you want to drink more and more, and you're actually dehydrating yourself because it's salt water. So that's what Shantideva is getting at.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So so what are the 8 worldly concerns?
The 8 worldly concerns, the 8 worldly dharmas. I don't remember. I try to remember. It's like fame, name, shame, blame. It's like, so a worldly dharma, I'll just give you an example. Worldly dharma is like becoming really, really, really famous.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like, you can use that word dharma or worldly. What did he say? Worldly 8 worldly activities or something like that.
The 8 worldly concerns, only dharma and a motivation appropriate to the practice of dharma effectively leads to fulfillment. All other activities are included in what Buddhists call the 8 worldly concerns. These concerns dominate a life without dharma and prevent us from entering a way of life that concerns to the cessation
Yeah,
of discontent. These 8 worldly concerns are gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise, blame, and fame and disgrace.
Yeah.
I guess they were in there.
Four of them.
Sorry. I wasn't trying to quiz you. I just didn't see it.
Well, no, that's the point. So it's great because they list all of the, basically, how you waste your time. Like, the idea is like, you could build a pile of money, but if anything you build up will be destroyed, like everything that gains loses eventually, so what is the constant thing is our mind is the constant thing. So if we fix that, you're not going to fix all the, like, how much, I mean, we still want to, like, I still want to have money, and build up my money, I'm not a fool. I understand how that works, but that is
contentment is probably more pleasurable, inevitably, right? Being content in your space.
Don't make money the thing that you base your happiness on. You still have to have money, but you just don't make that the basis of your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you want to, and the 8 worldly dharmas, the 8 worldly concerns is something that's brought up a lot in Buddhist talks, and it's basically what to be avoided. And it's really great to have a list. It's like so getting a great name of, like, oh, everyone's going to know Jess Williard is like big lights. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. But it's also a worldly dharma. There's a good to it, but you could use it for the right things and this and that, but it's a worldly dharma. And then
you could change your name. You could.
Yeah. I could call myself Zoltan or Zyron.
People, well, I don't know if anybody's watching right now, but if they were, they don't know that inside joke. Well, it's not really an inside joke. Remember how we talked about, like, people that, like, have gone down the spiritual path and they decide that they're just gonna, like, change their name, and
oh yeah,
they like, how many Shaktis have you met?
Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah, I remember going to California back, and I was like, what's your name? She's like, I'm Shakti. I'm Krishna.
I'm pretty sure your name's Bob.
It's like, what god are you going to name yourself after? Come on, chill out. My teacher said, he goes, I'm not going to give you a spiritual name. Your name is good enough. So my spiritual name is Jess.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting those, like, spiritual names, because people get, like, an ordination name if they become
ordination name is one thing, but no, when people just, like, decide that they're just gonna change their.
I mean, it's cool. I don't want to, like, because I have friends who have, like, all these different names, but I usually call them by whatever the name they told me first.
Right. No, I mean, it would be no different than if when people enter a priesthood, right? And they're oftentimes they're not the same name that they were given. At least maybe it is now, but, like, I think traditionally it wasn't. They, like, the Pope, whatever his name is right now, right. That's not his given name. That wasn't the name he was given at birth.
Right. No, I mean, like Ram Dass, for example, right? There's an easy example.
No, his name was, I don't know, something.
Richard Alpert.
There you go. So, or Krishna Das, who is in the same monastery, or, came from the same lineage. That's not his real name.
My whole thing is this. If you, whatever you like, I only want to call you by one name, right? So if you are done with being Richard Alpert and you're Ram Dass, okay, you're Ram Dass. I can dig that, or you're Krishna Das, and it's cool because probably the teacher gave him the name and all that.
Well, yeah, there's just he didn't ask for that name. That that was his teacher gave him that name.
There's a transformative aspect to that. My friend River.
But it was also part of the lineage, like, right? So, I mean, Das was the lineage name, right?
Something like that. Yeah, it, like, means servant. Like, yeah, it's like Ram is God, or, Ram is like a name of God. And then Das is like servant. So it's like kind of servant of God, or kind of, it's one of those interchangeable names. What it means, like, sometimes you're God and you're serving others, or you're serving God. It's kind of like how you can look at it from different angles. That's the idea.
It's nice.
Well, yeah. No, I was gonna say, my friend River, his real name is Brian, and when he told me his name was Brian, I was like, get out of here! You're not Brian, you're River. So once you pick a name, stick with it, or don't tell me, like, you've got two names. Like, I don't want to hear two names. I want to hear one name. Like, people are like, well, my name is this, but I also go by this. It's like, no, just what's your name? What do people call you? Because it's just too much. I don't know. I try. It's easy to like.
But you have a name that like you don't really have a nickname. Your name's Jess.
Well, I mean,
That's it.
Sometimes people call me Sex Machine.
Like who?
I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't know. Some people might call me Sex Machine.
You know this is on YouTube, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, Sex Machine. Yeah, I think we're good on the TOS. I think we're gonna be okay.
Oh my God.
Some people call me.
Is that written in is that like sketched into like the women's bathroom like stall somewhere?
I'm sure it is. With like,
your phone number for a good time.
2 thumbs up.
Oh dear God.
It's called humor, man. It's all good.
It is funny. It is really funny.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so my spiritual name
Back to the God talk.
Woo. Yeah, the trick here is don't take yourself too damn seriously. Like, that's really what I'm getting at here, because, sometimes you got to not take yourself seriously.
You weren't being serious then?
No, I am Sex Machine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Jess.
Many people know.
You're a legend. Many people or not many?
I said many.
Oh. Wow.
Just in terms of like, 14,000.
What?
14,000. I'm just kidding.
Well, you and Magic Johnson are in a class all by yourselves.
Yeah, no thanks.
Wow. You guys should have like a club.
Right?
You, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who else? I don't know.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh yeah, Wilt the Stilt.
Yeah, apparently that guy is like, he's got like the record. He's like way ahead of Gene Simmons.
Ew.
I'm not that. Yeah, it's not that great, I think. But whatever.
How did this conversation go here?
Because you're talking to me.
We're talking. Okay.
I'm an Aries.
Is that part of the 8 worldly concerns?
I don't know. Find it. Let's look it up.
Pleasure.
Yeah. If you make pleasure the mainstay of your
famous pleasure.
Yeah.
You're double dipping.
You can't just spend your whole life chasing after pleasure. That's not,
chasing after tail.
That's the trick. It's like, that's what Shanti Dave was talking about. If you chase pleasure all the time, you won't have pleasure.
Right.
The idea really is like, let's get to, they call it like satisfaction. Like you just satisfy where you're at and what you have, and not always looking for something, I don't know, like on Tinder or whatever. Yeah. People do all kinds of things nowadays. I don't know if you've heard about these things.
Apparently people do, huh, Jess?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I had a Tinder profile. It was pretty lame though. Yeah.
Jess, this isn't therapy.
I know. Well, no, it's not. You're right. Tinder, Bumble. What are the other ones? There's all these. Yeah, Bumble, and then there was like there's like Vegan Match or something. There's like ones for vegetarians, like Veggie Match or Veggie Mate or something like that. Or then there's like the Christian one. There was even one for Buddhists for a while. There was like a Buddhist, like I even signed up for it once. It was hilarious. Like a Buddhist match thing. Like you try to find your Buddhist lover. Alas, I will just be Obi-Wan Kenobi in the desert, working on my Dharma.
There you go.
All
alone. Yeah, so gain, loss, pleasure, pain, praise, blame, fame, disgrace. So you're like hitting a ton with all that.
Yeah, you can't rely on those things. You can't rely on gain because eventually it's going to turn to loss, and you don't want to spend time on loss either because it's just another moment.
Yeah.
Those are like the things that like the the things that you don't want to, they're worldly. So worldly things, like if you're of a higher spiritual acumen, if you're an intelligent person, you don't just focus purely on like the business, you got to focus on your business, but you can't make that the only thing you got to focus on something beyond that, that's the idea here.
Got it.
Pleasure seeking, obviously we covered that. What are the other ones? Blame, shame. Like the one thing that's really mentioned a lot in Buddhist teachings is we have a really strong attachment to our name and reputation. Like we have a real, like that's like the thing that we have like the most attachment to is our perception of self or how people perceive us. I mean, I mean, it's definitely a real thing. We definitely want to, what we put out into the world, we all manicure that and stuff like that. But you can't, yeah, it's interesting how that works. Anyway, so yeah, the 8 worldly dharmas, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. And then he goes on to talk about dharma and its imitations.
Yeah, what do you got?
I thought it was like another heading here, but he says, let us focus on other rituals that are widely regarded as spiritual practice or dharma, meditation, prayer, yoga, and so on. As we engage in such actions, it is essential to repeatedly ask ourselves, are these practices motivated by the 8 worldly concerns? I think what he's saying is am I gaining? Am I, because people, I mean, I think that's
are you putting on a show?
Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot.
Yeah.
you see a lot.
That's why we have to look at the 8 worldly dharmas, because you don't want to be that guy who's like, oh yeah, oh I'm so holy, and then like I'm this.
I so meditated harder than you.
Yeah, I meditate so hard, bro. Like I can meditate way harder than you, bro.
I am so much further into the 5th dimension than you.
Yeah.
What? Oh, come on. I think I'm moving into the upper stages of the 4th dimension.
Yeah.
What?
You get that in the.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
That's why it's good to make jokes and because it cuts through the crap. That's why I make the joke, because it's like, don't take yourself too seriously, or don't even know self.
Yeah, I am.
Are you though?
I am. I am the light. I am the light. The light I am. I am the light. The light I am. That's about it. Right?
You're pretty vibrant from here. Like you got this like a lot of white coming off of your screen there. I like it.
Well, it's that street lamp thing. It gets too bright actually, but I'm further away from it now. I don't know if you can tell.
It's your light.
My light?
The light of your heart.
Aw. Okay, so I was just going through his headings. Signs of Dharma practices. We enter the Dharma practice, we may be in for disappointing surprises. We learn to identify the arising mental distortions in a daily life and the unwholesome behavior that ensues from them. In this learning process, we may find that in our minds and in our way of life are far less wholesome than we previously thought. Many beginning Dharma students remark that before they begin practicing Buddhism, they had thought themselves as fairly wise and friendly people, but after examining their own behavior more carefully, they are dismayed at the unwholesome quality of their lives.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
We all think we know it all, and then you go and you meet these teachers and you realize you might not know as much as you think you do, or you're not as like grandiose as you originally thought. That's what's really important. It's when you meet these like super advanced like spiritual beings who have this wealth of knowledge and can totally nail you with all this great information constantly, and they're constantly up there. They're like, oh, I don't know anything. I'm a no.
But eventually when you get to the point where you know that they're actually gracefully not nailing you, you ever realize like, holy shit, where in hindsight, you're like, when you get to like, you grow enough and you're like, they totally could have nailed me here, 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 and here, and they chose not to.
Oh yeah. Well, that in and of itself is a blessing if it's coming from your guru, actually. Because I'll tell you what.
I mean, I can reflect on many times in my own experience that they just chose, they knew that's just where I was. And I was growing, and that's just where I was. I mean, you're not going to get down on a 4-year-old because they didn't know how to tie their shoes.
Right. But there's the other side of it. It's like when you're ready and when you kind of like, sometimes the teacher will nail you with, like my teacher, he would not be like, he totally ripped me to shreds in public before. Like, but it was really good. It was a blessing because it was like I was seeing the delusion of how I was functioning, and he was like, so and it's like and because it's like, if we're not working with the 8 worldly dharmas, you don't care about being ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's no self. There's no like thing that you hold on to. It's just a moment in time where you get caught. You get exposed essentially in how your mind is. And because it's this kind of moment, and it's like the teacher and the interaction, you're able to really think about it and capture it and meditate on it. And you're like, wow, yeah, he really got me there. What a great thing. Like we always like used to say, like, if our teacher was yelling at us, like we would just like be quiet and be happy about it because it was such a blessing, like such a good thing. Like, but you can only get there when you have like a specific relationship with the spiritual teacher. You can't just be some random guy yelling at you. It's coming from that person's heart. And they know you better than you know you. It's crazy. That's how it works for these guys.
Yeah.
They're cut through to a higher level than you. So anyways, I could go on like that forever, but that's like one of the benefits of the student disciple relationship.
Right. Well, it's that student guru or teacher contract, right, that we've talked about before with the Bodhisattva talk, when it's you're asking for the information, you're asking for that knowledge, for that growth, for that expansion for your soul. It's different.
You have to be actively like we're in this relationship, like I'm in a relationship with this teacher, and we know that that's what's going on, and it's an active living thing, rather than there's just some guy you went to a talk and you don't want to hear what they're yelling at you, telling you what's up. You're not going to listen to somebody unless you invite that in.
Right. You're paying for this credit, so you have to finish it. Right. So we kind of really kind of skimmed Dharma, and we're on to the next chapter of Alan Wallace. So we really just skimmed. Good job, Jess.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I love Alan Wallace. He's great.
I know.
You're getting those quotes from Alan Wallace's book, right?
Yeah, I just kind of like breezed through his headings so that you just kind of expanded on all of his headings from chapter 1 on Dharma. And then the next chapter is Life's Oldest Illusion.
Yeah, okay.
And it's Results of Ignoring Death. Do you have this book in your collection?
I don't, but it's great that you're bringing up these things. See, like the way that it works within the Buddhist tradition is like you have like a book, right? The teacher's up there and they have a book, and you go through the book and you get the transmission of the teaching, and then you get like the actual, like what Shantideva said from your teacher, and an unbroken lineage that goes back to Shantideva, unbroken. And then you get what is called the commentary, and that's basically, I'm just trying to like comment on what, like, so this is what Shantideva means when he says da 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 da. That's the commentary, and it's interesting to you can use any kind of contemporary examples to. That's the cool thing about the Dharma. It's like the Dharma, you can use contemporary examples, like this is what Buddha was talking about, and you can make it modern and new. without actually, you're not changing the Dharma, because the Dharma is you're not changing what the Buddha said. You're just using different examples.
So yeah, you've covered that, unless you feel like you need to go further into Dharma, but you pretty much have covered all those topics, those big headings.
I like this way, what we're doing right now. It's better than me just ranting about politics and crap. It's a waste of time. Like,
well, I mean, if there's something that you wanted to pull into those topics,
it's not a waste of time. It's good. It's. I'm just being a little. I'm being a little self. But yeah, no, I like the system. What you're doing, you're reading these things, and then we discuss it, because that's the stuff that I can sink my teeth into.
Well, I think maybe there was some things that were stirred up for a while.
Yeah.
And there was I knew you trusted me, but there were some things that were just going on. Yeah. So, but chapter 2 is if that's, I mean, we can talk later, but yeah, that's the next thing. So, but you don't ever finish, really. You just cycle back around. So there's always more to talk on. What? I'm sorry.
Well, until you become enlightened.
Right.
Are you enlightened yet? Like, yeah, I'm not there yet. The idea is
I'm a
we
little
have
lighter.
Buddha nature. You're lighter, exactly right. It's it's like doing the math problems. You got to do the work to get the mind up. And that's what the Dharma. The Dharma in the form of that book say, like, that Dharma is there to waken up your own inner Dharma, which is to, and then you kind of, the idea is it makes you a better person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just, I'm a better person, I'm a good guy, it's not just psychology stuff. It's actually the transformative aspect that goes lifetime to lifetime, that's you're working towards enlightenment if you're a Buddhist, and it's not in one book, and it's not in one lifetime. It's the whole game. This is the game. This is the only dance there is, as Ram Dass would put it. He had wrote a book called that, The Only Dance There Is.
Really? I have the B here now.
Yeah.
It's trippy.
That's a really fun one. That's like a trippy, like, coffee table book.
Yeah. I had it on my coffee table for a long time. And I have like all kinds of Post-it notes in there, because like it's just like you can just open it up and fall on some kind of wisdom, like, because it's pictures and it's little quotes, and it's not like a cover to cover read. I mean, what are you going to read?
No. That's what's so brilliant of it. And it's got like that crazy like print. Like, he was probably hanging out in India when he made it. And like in India, they have like, the old, the printing press stuff, and he was like making these little cool prints, Be Here Now and all. If people who've seen the book know what I'm talking about, what it looks like. He's great.
Do you have a copy of it?
No, but I've seen it a bunch, so I don't need to have it. I have it in here.
Do you know, I actually bought it in Ann Arbor at the Barnes and Noble.
Nice.
By the old Bikram studio. Hot yoga there. It's not hot yoga. It's not Bikram anymore. But I bought it there.
Oh, they changed.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. They changed the name. Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, Ram, that's cool because he came to Ann Arbor a bunch.
I wonder why.
Did talks.
Do you know why?
Oh, you're talking about Vic. Yeah, well, I know directly why, because I met a yogini, this girl who studied with Vikram, and she told me stuff like how he was operating, and it was like pretty blatant.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I don't like to, everybody knows. And so it's just unfortunate. The thing is this is a really different, this is a whole other subject, but it's really important. If you are in any kind of like teacher place, or you're like at a place where people are looking up to you, whether it's a guru or teacher or whatever it is, you have like the highest responsibility. And so you really have to have like perfect morality. You really can't. And I talk about perfect morality. I mean, like,
well, I mean, he was not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's far from that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's examples of what not to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those examples in the 60s too. And I mean, those examples are constant. Like, that's the one thing you don't want to end up as is a faker. You sit up there and talk about all this like spiritual stuff, and then you're like doing funny things in the back. Like, that's what you don't do. That's because then you're hurting people. There's been a lot of examples of that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I went to one hot yoga, or well, I've been to lots of hot yogas, but I haven't been to one Bikram. And I was like, I will never go again because of that, because I'm not going to support that. Right.
oh, right.
I think there's lots of examples of that. What? I'm sorry.
You get like a pyramid scheme where he makes money off of every class because it's like a
Well,
franchise.
yeah, because it's a franchise. Yeah. It'd be like, okay, well, I'm not, it'd be like going and buying McDonald's hamburgers. I mean, McDonald's, the corporation, makes money, when you buy a hamburger. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think they didn't they do like a Netflix movie on that? Poor guy. I mean, you create your own thing. That's just it, like, so that's why that's a whole other discussion is what not to do. I mean, like, especially like if you want to talk about like spirituality or being a spiritual teacher, then the one thing you can't be is like slimy or shady or any of that stuff. You have to be legit, like for real. So that's the kind of like the golden, like the rule number one with that for me. It's like, if you're going to ever teach stuff, you have to really embody it. You can't just talk about it.
It's unfortunate, but
yeah.
But anyway, right there, right. I was talking about the Barnes and Noble right there. That's where I bought that book, the Be Here Now book.
Yeah, that's right. I used to go hang out in the Barnes and Nobles. It's still there, right? I mean,
I think so. I don't know. I've been there forever.
Yeah. There used to be another one there. It was like a smaller one, and then they smashed it and made a new one. I've been here since '96. I remember these.
Right
things.
there by Whole Paycheck.
Whole Paycheck. I used to work at Whole Paycheck. Ugh. God, now it's like it's like an Amazon like warehouse. It feels like you go to a warehouse. It's really weird now. I don't know, but I don't like grocery stores anyways. I have an aversion to grocery stores.
Why? And where are you gonna buy your food?
Pizza places. Oh. They make pizza everywhere,
That's true.
True.
Well, I'm glad you like this little format. You kind of just didn't really know that it was coming.
I know it's like we're playing with cards.
What do you think about Dharma? Okay, good. Great. Okay, cool.
Let's talk about it.
Boom.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna stop the stream, okay?
Okay. It was great chatting with you.
That sounds weird.
What is it?
It's good for the Kegels. Stop your stream.
Are we gonna keep on the thing, or are you gonna just turn it off?
Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. But good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody's here. Stayed with us. We've had a long stream. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. I got to go to YouTube, I think. End stream. End.